Ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la. Ya la la, ya la la, ra ra ra, la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la, ya la la.
Bruchim Habayim, welcome to High Holy Days at Congregation Nefesh Soul. We are a non-denominational Jewish community celebrating our 7th anniversary next month. Our services are led by me, Rabbi Susan Shannerman, and our cantorial soloist, Susan Colin. During these Yamim Noraim, centuries-old Hebrew prayers mix with modern poetry. Traditional High Holy Day melodies weave alongside contemporary interpretations of the liturgy. We have adapted our 70-plus page machzor into the 35 pages that we hope you have before you. If you have not accessed our machzor, it can be found on our recent newsletters. For copyright reasons, it is not located on our website. The result, we hope, will offer everyone the opportunity to get lost in the liturgy, to dive deeply into the prayers, to resonate with the music, and to experience a soul-searching and deeply spiritual High Holy Days. In these unusual times when we cannot reach out and hug you, or sit beside you in a sanctuary, or join you for our traditional Rosh Hashanah luncheon, we hope that somehow, in some way, these Yamim Noraim will touch you and help you through difficult days and weeks and months. We cannot see you, but we feel your presence and are very grateful to know you are here. Many of us are grieving this evening at the news that Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg has died. A champion of human rights, loved and admired by so many of us, it will be difficult not to allow our shock and sadness to mar our celebration of the new year. But let us put aside our grief this evening in the knowledge that there is no holier day in which to enter the world to come than Shabbat. And that is when Ruth Bader Ginsburg left us. A parable. A king was once traveling in the forest and lost his way until he met a man who recognized that he was the king and escorted his master out of the forest and back to his palace. The king later rewarded him with many presents and elevated him to a powerful minister's post. After a while, however, the man committed an act which was considered rebellious against the king, and he was sentenced to death. Before he was taken out to be executed, the king granted him one last request. The man said, "I request to wear the clothes I wore when I escorted His Majesty when he was lost in the forest, and that His Majesty should also wear the clothes he wore then." The king complied, and when they were both dressed in the garments they wore at the time of their meeting, the king said, "By your life you have saved yourself," and called off the execution. When God gave us the Torah, we accepted it and promised to fulfill the covenant. But now we have erred. Like the man in the parable, and with the arrival of the day of judgment, we are faced with our own imperfections, misdeeds, and errors. We ask that God remember us as we once were and will be again, penitent, hopeful, and committed to leading lives that warrant forgiveness and loving kindness. And so we begin the Yamim Noraim, the 10 days of atonement. On page 3, we join together.
Page 1.
Page 1, we join together.
Ratzov vashov, ebb and flow. 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 Here I am again for the very first time. Ratzov vashov, ebb and flow. Here I am again and again. Ratzov vashov, ebb and flow. Where have I been? Where am I going to? Counting the days to the ebb and flow. Where have I been? Where am I going to? Counting the days to the ebb and flow. Yai-dai, yai-dai, yai-dai-dai-dai, yai-dai, yai-dai, yai-dai-dai-dai.
Blessed are you, flame, wick, and oil, fire, earth, sun, and land. Blessed are you, Holy One, source of this divine light. For the holiday candle lighting, we call upon Jim and Sharon Hoffman. Please join us for the Shehechianu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
We the burdened and we the burned have had so much taken from us that we wonder what it is we can gift the world. For us, may this be a year of Torah rising, so that in the absence of Torah and the desecration and Torah, the letters of Torah float graciously on high, transcending the struggle and dangling over all life the wisdom of the generations and the strength of all our people. When our hearts ache, may we ascend like the letters. When our souls cry out, may we ascend like the letters. When our minds race, may we ascend like the letters. When our bodies fail, may we ascend like the letters. And when the world calls, may all our answers lead to Torah. We continue on page 2 with the Baruch Hu, our call to worship. I invite you to rise.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Uma'avir yom u'mevil laila, umavdil ben yom u'ben laila, Adonai tzvaot shemo, El chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'ma'ariv Haravim.
page 3, Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amecha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu lemadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu, b'shochbeinu u'vekumeinu, nasiach b'chukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, u'v'mitzvotecha, le'olam va'ed, ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu, uvahem nehegei yomam v'layla.
In this moment, nothing else exists. We are alone before God. Let us join together. Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Please be seated. We continue with the Ve'ahavta, page 3.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Vishinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shochtecha uv'kumecha upshartam leot ayadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Listen, all you who wrestle with your fate. The intimate and the infinite are one. Trust that unity with your whole heart, doubt and all with your whole soul, and with all the powers at your command. Remember it, repeat it everywhere, working or resting, sitting or walking, night and morning, alone and to all you love. See it written on your hand, on your brow, in every common place and in every face. Emet ve'emunah kol zot v'kayam aleinu ki hu Adonai Eloheinu ve'en zulato v'anachnu Yisrael amo. The boundless one is our divinity, and no divinity exists but one. We are Israel, community of God. On the top of page 4. Moses, Miriam, and all the Israelites broke out in song, abundant in their joy, and all as one they said, Who among the mighty can compare to you, wise one? Who can compare to you, adorned in holiness, awesome in praises, acting wondrously? Your children saw you in your majesty, splitting the sea in front of Moses. This is my God, they cried and said, the Holy One will reign forever. And it was said, yes, the Redeeming One has rescued Jacob, saved him from a power stronger than his own. Blessed are you, the guardian, Israel's redeeming power.
מי כמוך באלים, אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה אלה, מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע ים לפני משה, זה אלינו, ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
When fears multiply and danger threatens, when sickness comes, when death confronts us, it is God's blessing of shalom that sustains us.
We continue with Let There Be Love, Hashkivenu. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
Hashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu,
Be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
תקעו בחודש שופר, בכסל ליום חגנו, כי חוק לישראל הוא משפט לאלוהי Yaakov. Blast piercing notes upon the shofar for the new moon, for the full moon, for our festive holiday. Page 5, Chatzi Kaddish.
Yitkada v'yikada shemei rabba.
Amen.
Ve'alma divrach yirtei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayedecho beit Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, uv'izman kariv. V'yimaru amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevorach, le'olam olam me'omaya, yitbarach, yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnasei, v'yitadar v'yitalei v'yitalal, shmei rekudesha b'rechu, le'elam min kol berchata v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma v'yimeru amen.
We rise to pray the Amidah, the Tefillah, taking special note on page 5 that the words are slightly altered. There is the Zachrenu prayer in the Avot v'Yemahot, and the Gevurot has an extra added section on line 4. Please rise.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agita hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chastei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevii Gula livnei bneihem, Leman Shemo be'ahava. Zachrenu lechaim, Melech hafetz b'chaim, V'chatfenu b'sefer hachayim, L'ma'anecha Elohim chayim, Melech ozer, U'Moshiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ezrat Saram. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei metim, Atah Rav le'Hoshia, Moriv Hatal. Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechayei metim berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar, Michamocha bal gevurot, Umido melech, melech memit umechaye, umatzmiach Yeshua, michamocha aharachamim, zocher letzura l'chaim berachamim, v'ne'eman atah l'hachayot metim. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei hametim.
Please be seated. We continue with Atah Kadosh in the middle of page 6.
Atah Kadosh, V'shimcha Kadosh. Atah Kadosh, V'shimcha Kadosh. U'kdashim b'chol yom, Yehalelu chasela, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
O Holy One, I hear and say so many words, yet yours is the word I need. Speak now and help me listen. And if what I hear is silence, let it quiet me. Let it disturb me. Let it touch my need. Let it break my pride. Let it shrink my certainties. Let it enlarge my wonder. Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu, page 6.
Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu, B'amcha Yisrael, U'tefilatam be'ahava tekabel, U'tehi leratzon tamid avodat Yisrael. Yisrael כרעב פני אל עבדיך וחוננו. שפוך רוחך עלינו ותחזינה עינינו בשובך לציון. ברחמים. ברוך אתה אדוני המחזיר שכינתו לציון. לציון, לציון.
Take a few moments for the prayers of our hearts.
Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon, lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech Adon, lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. V'tov be'enecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
Page 9. When men were children, they thought of God as a father. When men were slaves, they thought of God as a master. When men were subjects, they thought of God as a king. But I am a woman, not a slave, not a subject, not a child who longs for God as father or mother. I might imagine God as teacher or friend, but those images like king, master, father, or mother are too small for me now. God is the force of motion and light in the universe. God is the strength of life on our planet. God is the power moving us to do good. God is the source of love springing up in us. God is far beyond what we can comprehend. We rise for the Avinu Malkeinu as the ark doors are open.
Avinu Malkeinu, Shema Koleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chatanu Lefanecha. Avinu Malkeinu, Chamol Aleinu, Ve'alol Aleinu, Ve'tapeinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Kale Dever, Ve'cherev Ra'av, Me'aleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Kale Kotzar, Umastin, Me'aleinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Kotveinu Besefer Chaim Tovim. Avinu Malkeinu, Chodesh Aleinu, Chodesh Aleinu, Shana Tova. Avinu, Avinu Malkeinu, Harem, Harem, Kerem, Israel Amecha. Avinu Malkeinu, Choneinu Vaneinu, Ki ein banu masim, Aseimanu, Aseimanu, Tzedakah v'chesed, V'hoshienu. Avinu Malkeinu, Shema Koleinu.
How are you? How's business? And how's your wife? And your children? Well, goodbye. It certainly was good to see you. Believe me, there's nothing like a good heart-to-heart talk with a friend to get your troubles off your chest. That was a Jewish joke from a treasury of traditional Jewish stories and humor. It made me stop and wonder if our ancestors centuries ago anticipated that their words would ring so true today. In these times of masks, limited personal contact, distancing, and online meetings, we struggle to engage in real conversation. I think we always struggle for real conversation, but it is during these days that it matters the most. Why? Because we are isolated. Even those of us who go to a workplace are isolated. Masks create barriers. Yes, necessary barriers, but barriers all the same. You do not know that I am smiling across the room. You cannot observe the twinkle in my eyes through my fogged up glasses or witness the joy I feel when I see you. My voice is muddled, my expressions are hidden, and my mask sends a clear intended message: stay away. Do not come near me. You are not welcome in my space. 6 feet apart means that we are never close enough to touch or to whisper or to exchange any sort of intimate words or signals. We shout or we wave or we gesture from afar, but our innate need for touch and for closeness is unfulfilled. And even if we live with others and enjoy a mask-free close-up existence with loved ones, there is the nagging worry. What if he or she was too near someone today who has the virus? Or what if he or she is worried that I was too near someone today who has the virus? There is a palpable sense of distrust, of anxiety, of fear that anyone, anywhere can infect you or me. It's like being in an unending science fiction nightmare at times, except that we do not wake up. And the news does little to reassure or comfort. The statistics, the warnings, the contradictory messages from the medical profession, the choosing of sides between those who follow the rules, which are ever changing, and those who dismiss them. If I wasn't already an anxious person, I certainly am now. And then what arrives? The High Holy Days, where traditionally sanctuaries fill, old friends greet each other after long absences, congregants sit close together in communal worship, and we are physically reminded that we are indeed the Jewish people, that we may live our lives out in the world most of the time, but we come together in person every September to reaffirm our identity and physically declare our presence. Except that this year, you can see only a few of us, and we can see only a few of you, and it is only our imaginations that bring us close. So how do we find meaning sitting in our living rooms, our offices, our bedrooms, our backyards, streaming High Holy Day services this year? How can we touch the depth and breadth of the High Holy Day experience? Are we excited that it is the Jewish New Year? Will we feel cleansed after the Yom Kippur atonement prayers? Will the words and the music coming through a computer or television set have any impact at all? That, my dear friends, is up to you and me and every single Jew in the world who acknowledges that the High Holy Days are worth experiencing. Because the ultimate meaning will come as it always does, but maybe more so this year, from what each of us brings to it with our hearts and minds, our voices, and our nishamot, our souls. You can sit back on the couch and just observe and say you did it. Or you can print out the machzor and follow along and read the extra prayers. Or you can even sing along and recite the prayers with us and contemplate the themes and artistry and magic of these Yamim Noraim, with their traditional words, their contemporary relevance, and their undeniable beauty. It is really your choice. And not being in the room with you to help you get there makes it more difficult and frustrating for us on this end and challenging for you on your end. We don't have our pianist. We don't have our choir. We cannot invite you to come up to the bima for honors. We don't even have our sanctuary. But what we do have is a commitment to our dedicated community, to our congregants and once a year attendees, to those who are checking us out for the first time, to those who stumbled upon us online and are wondering what we're about, to every single person who reaches out to us through the wonder of technology, hoping to experience the magic of prayer, the magic of spiritual connection, the magic of transformation. This is what we will make happen together, these Yamim Noraim. May it be so. Our service continues with the Aleinu, found on page 24 as we open the ark doors.
Aleinu l'shabach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגאור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נטע שמיים ויוסד ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגבי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אינו אמת מלכנו אפס הולדתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת עינו, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד, ושמו אחד.
Page 25. I send you on with love in my heart, crying tears of joy for the life you have lived, praising the source of life for connecting our lives. I send you on to the next life. I send you on the way you lived, embracing who you were, not the space that you live. Praising the source of life for allowing us to love, I send you on to the next life. I send you on without fear. I will not curse or rend my garments, praising the source of life for granting us time. I send you on to the next life. I send you on with praise, singing songs of joy for all creation, praising the source of life for making us flesh and blood. I send you on to the next life. I send you on with libations and toasts, drinking to health and drinking to memory, praising the source of life for giving us words to share. I send you on to the next life. I send you on with stones, not flowers. I will not add death to death, praising the source of life for all creation. I send you on to the next life. We continue with Kaddish as we observe those who have passed in Septembers this year or in years past, and of course, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And together we recite the words of Kaddish found on your screen or page 25. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach irutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'gala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam olamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shemei dekudesha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min Shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom,
Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen.
And now we invite Louise Moskowitz to share some announcements.
No.
Louise, can you unmute yourself?
I apologize. I'll start over. Thank you so much for attending Congregation Nefesh Soul Holy Day services. I am Louise Moskowitz, and I'm honored to serve on your Board of Trustees. Thank you to Rabbi Susan Shaneman, Ketorial Soloist Susan Colin, musician Carrie Vesper, and our candle lighters, Jim and Sharon Hoffman, for participating this evening, as well as Amber and Josh Calkins for providing our tech support. Thank you to all of you who made generous financial contributions to our High Holy Day services, and to those who support us year-round with donations. If you haven't made a High Holy Day contribution or wish to increase your donation, see the newsletter for details. We do expect everyone to share in the financial costs of these High Holy Days. Whether you attend one or all of our services, we make it possible for you to experience the High Holy Days. Services begin tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Children's program at 1 p.m. Tashlik in person at 4:30 at the lake on the northwest side of 40th Street and Chandler Boulevard. Park at the Salon Signatures building behind Walgreens and join us behind the Salon building. Wear a mask, bring birdseed or bread. There is a lot happening at CNS. Check the Sunday newsletter to stay informed. Visit our website to sign up for the newsletter at www.nefeshsoul.com. See you in the morning. Shana Tova.
Page 26. Praise me, says God, and I will know that you love me. Curse me, says God, and I will know that you love me. Praise me or curse me, and I will know that you love me. Sing out my graces, says God. Raise your fist against me and revile, says God. Sing out graces or revile. Reviling is also a kind of praise, says God. But if you sit fenced off in your apathy, says God, if you sit entrenched in I don't give a damn, says God, if you look at the stars and yawn, if you see suffering and don't cry out, if you don't praise and you don't revile, then I created you in vain, says God. We will conclude with a Bim Bam Shana Tova song that Susan will teach us. And then we will invite all of our participants this evening to unmute and wish everyone a Shana Tova.
So Bim Bam, because we have this double goodness tonight, Shabbat Shalom and Shana Tova. So it'll be Shabbat Shalom and Shana Tova and Shabbat Shalom. And the last phrase is Shana Tova Tikatevu, Shana Tova V'techatemu. May you be inscribed and sealed for a good year. And there's always Bim Bam. So here we go. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, biddy 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 bim, bam, bim, 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 bam, bim, 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 bam. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom and Shana Tova. Shana Tova, Shana Tova and Shabbat shalom again. Shabbat shalom and Shana Tova, Shana Tova and Shabbat shalom. Shana Tova, Tikatevu, Shana Tova, B'techatemu, Shabbat shalom and Shana Tova, Shana Tova and Shabbat shalom. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, biddy 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 bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam.
We wish you Shabbat Shalom, Shana Tova, and let's have everybody unmute. Shana Tova.
Shana Tova. Shana Tova. Shana Tova.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now don't leave it and see if you can find your